Hello students, welcome back to the English online class. Today we will do poem number 4 of First Flight, that is How to Tell Wild Animals, written by Caroline Wells. The poem How to Tell Wild Animals by Caroline Wells is about the dangerous ways to identify the wild animals. The poet tries to distinguish one animal from the other in a humorous way. The poet suggests that it is very risky to be in such a close proximity to these wild creatures. So the poem is thus very educative as it tells us about various features of wild animals. So students, let us see how the poem appears in your textbook. This is the first page of the poem. Here you can see the first picture that we see is of the Asian lion, and then there are some descriptive features which are associated with Asian lion that we'll read. And the second picture here you can see is of Bengal tiger, and then we have a picture of leopard. So let us move to the next page. Here we can see this is the picture on the top is of bear, and then we have hyena and crocodile, and the last picture is of chameleon. So let us start with the poem. The first verse of the poem goes like this. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you, you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. So students, here tawny means orange brown or yellowish brown color. So the poet in the first verse cautions the readers against the wild beast which is found in the jungles. The poet says that if by chance you happen to go to any forest in the east, and you are likely to encounter a huge and terrible animal, and that animal advances towards you, that means that animal is moving forward towards you, you will notice that it is brownish yellow in color, and if that beast roars loudly at you and you feel that you are going to die due to fear, then you will come to know that it is the Asian lion. So here what we see is that the poet is suggesting some of the dangerous ways through which we can identify the wild animals. Here we see the poet says that if by chance we go to the jungles and we see a grand and majestic wild beast, and if in those thick forests we have a terrible animal and that terrible animal has dark yellowish skin, you should be sure that he is the Asiatic lion. And then if he roars loudly and that roar terrifies you to death, then you are hearing the roar of an Asiatic lion. Or if sometime when roaming round a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. The poet now here says that it is very likely that while roaming in the forest, you are greeted by a wild beast. And this wild beast is very impressive in size, and his majestic body is covered with black stripes on a yellow hide. The poet cautions that if the readers notice this beast and that if he eats them, then this simple rule will teach that it is a Bengal tiger. So students, in this verse, the poet is giving us a very simple rule of distinguishing the Bengal tiger from other wild creatures. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, As soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain, he'll only leap and leap again. Here, strolling means walking very casually. Fourth means to move forward. Hide means the skin of the animal. Peppered here means which is covered with spots, and leapt means taken a jump towards someone. The poet further helps the readers to identify a leopard. He says that if you happen to walk in the forest, you might encounter a beast with spots on his skin. When this wild beast will jump at you, you will immediately understand that it is a leopard, as he will keep jumping on you and will tear you apart. Moreover, it will be of no use then to shout or cry with pain, because he will continue pouncing on you. So be careful and don't allow it to leap on you. Because the moment the leopard sees his prey, he pounces upon it, and his attack is sudden. There is no escape from him, even if you cry with pain. He will continue jumping at you and start eating you before you understand that he is a leopard. If when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it's a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he'll give you just one more caress. Caress means a gentle, loving touch. So, now further the poet says that while you are walking in your yard, you may encounter a creature there. When this creature hugs you very, very tightly, then believe that it's a bear. Bears are thought to be good wrestlers and can give a really tight hug. Although a friend hug is referred to as bear hug, if a real bear hugs you, then it may not feel friendly at all. The bear hugs a man to kill him. The poet says that in case of any doubt, you'll find that the bear will embrace you once again till death. In the next verse, the poet says, though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may. Tell from the hyenas thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodile. Novice is a person who is, new to the job, who is not at all experienced, and inexperienced person. Nonplus here means puzzling, confused, and surprising. So the poet says that it is not an easy job for a novice, for an inexperienced person, to distinguish the beast of prey, because he will be confused. A novice might nonplus means an inexperienced person may get confused in distinguishing them. Probably he may not be able to distinguish between a hyena and a crocodile. But the poet says that they can be distinguished on, they have some features on the basis of which we can distinguish. For example, hyenas, the poets say, are very deceptive. They will attack their victims with weird smiles and kill them. And crocodiles pretend to be weeping before attacking and killing their victims. So here we see that the poet says that a novice who is a beginner may be puzzled and confused and will not be able to distinguish between these two creatures, hyena and crocodile. But further he says that hyena always laughs as it swallows its victim, and a crocodile on the other hand is said to shed tears while eating its prey. So the poet thus warns the reader to not wait for a hyena to laugh or for a crocodile to weep. So the last verse of the poem. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it's the chameleon you see. The poet describes a chameleon in this stanza. He says a chameleon is a small garden lizard. It doesn't have ears or wings. The poet further says that if you are unable to see a thing on the tree, then chances are that a chameleon is sitting there. A chameleon is an expert at camouflage. It changes its color as per its surroundings and is therefore difficult to see. This capacity of camouflage helps the lizard in saving it from hunters. So students, here it is the end of the poem now. So what we have seen here is that the title of the poem, that is How to Tell Wild Animals, is in itself is a question. It poses the question as to how one can identify the wild animals. But as we read, we find that the poem suggests some dangerous ways of identifying the wild animals. In fact, they are so dangerous that if one were to follow them, one could even lose one's life. So the title proves to be ironical, if we see, and does not give away the mischievous and delightful humor of the poet. So, but the poet has given us, so many humorous examples, and the poet also cautions the readers that it is not safe to be close to the tigers and lions, but ironically also suggests that it is very risky ways to identify these animals. And the poet has suggested everything in a very lighter and humorous vein, that wild animals are very dangerous and one should exercise extreme caution when one is near them, and one should keep a safe distance from them. So now let us come to the rhyming scheme. Here we can see the rhyming scheme is AB, AB and CC. Chance rhymes with advance, and east, here we can see that rhymes with beast, and then dine, line will be your CC. Here same AB, AB and CC you can see. So then these are the poetic devices which have been used here. Here we can see the poetic device used in the first two lines. This is the enjambment, and then we have inversion here. Here we have assonance because vowel O has been used. Alliteration, here we can see in the first sentence it is R and R roaming round, so it is alliteration. Here also inversion. Then here we have allusion. The poetic device here used is allusion. And here we have assonance. And so students, about the explanation of these poetic devices, that will be done in your virtual class. And just go through this video tutorial, and whatever doubts and queries you will be having, we'll be sorting it out in the virtual session. And so till then, goodbye, have a good day everyone.